Hey, real estate investors, the market is hot, so how hot do you have to be to get a deal? Hey, real estate investors, let's talk about the hot market. How do you get a deal? What do you need to do, and how can you lock it up to make sure that you're getting the best deal possible? So number one, there's many ways that you can go about looking at how to get deals. You've heard it all before. Wholesalers, real estate agents, scanning foreclosures and short sales, driving by distressed properties and finding out who the owner is. There's many ways you can find a deal. It's just you're going to have to hustle now, and it's going to have to hustle hard to get these deals. And so what does that look like? What does that mean? How do you go about doing that? So here's a couple good tips that can really help help you get to where you want to get and finding the deals that you're looking for. Number one, let's go to meetups. There's all kinds of meetups. Now, again, because of COVID, they've been kind of on hold and are missing, and they're not in person. Some are doing it online, and some are still doing it in person. Locally in the Lancaster County market, there's one that hasn't stopped, and is a great opportunity to learn stuff from them. So there's opportunities there on those meetups. So there's meetups everywhere, and I believe we're going to start seeing a lot of meetups start to come back online and start meeting in person again. So you should see that soon here now that we've kind of got the whole masks aren't needed for those who are vaccinated and that kind of thing. So number one is meetups. Number two is Facebook Marketplace. There's a ton of groups, Facebook groups that you can go on to get opportunities to just talk, see what people are saying, seeing what people are doing. And you can even get deals that way through Facebook Marketplace, or Facebook groups, I should say. Number two would be wholesalers, or I should say number three is wholesalers. And if you work with different agents like myself, you'll be able to get opportunities, because we often get wholesale deals sent to us. So if we think they're a deal, we'll send them out. Even if we think they're not so good, but maybe it's what you're looking for, we still send those out as opportunities, because we want to try and give you the best opportunity to win a deal as quickly as possible. Another one is Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets, a huge resource, obviously an awesome website. So check them out too. So again, you're going to have to do these. You're going to have to hustle more to find these deals and these types of deals. And another option would be to talk to an agent like ourselves. Because of what we do, there's a ton of off-market deals that we come across our plate, or even before they would even hit the market. Sometimes we're able to push them to our clients. Other times it still has to hit the market, the MLS system, but still you can have a heads up and a jump on those type of deals where you can potentially do those deals. So talking to an agent that knows the market and that has a good grasp of opportunities, deals that are coming out everywhere. So definitely talk to a real estate agent that has good connection with investors, is a good resource. Another resource would be to talk to somebody or hire somebody, since you need to hustle and the deals are going within 24 hours, or things are going off the market. You can't get off work. So this would be perfect for you, individual who is busy, has a full-time job, and you can't be looking at properties at the drop of a hat. So what we've created, at least with our system, is we've created a way that we'll go create a walkthrough video if we're able to. If we can't, we'll do pictures or something like that, because if a tenant doesn't want us to make a video of their property, something like that, we can gladly just go through and take pictures. But that is another resource where we can, at the drop of a hat, go take a look at a property, get in there, and where it can help you get a quicker deal because we're in there doing a video. Another option would be what they call bird dog in real estate, is basically hiring a teenage kid that is looking for maybe some summer work as we get into the summertime. They basically are driving around, writing down all the addresses of distressed properties that you see, and you then are going to have to send out mailers or try and reach out to those owners and try try and identify them. So those are really another good opportunity. And even those bird dogs can even potentially get out and do videos potentially of properties for you. That way you're not having to drop the hat, go run and take a look at something and taking off work or whatever. You can continue to do your job, but then also have these resources coming back to you quicker and being able to jump on deals a lot quicker. So sale prices through the roof right now. We just listed one for $324,900, ended up selling top offer of $355,000 above asking. So some of these deals start to not make sense. Some of them are like, how are these even cash flowing? How are people even willing to pay for this kind of thing? But what we found is rents are also increasing. So you got to know the numbers, and I always come back to know your numbers, because hands down you need to know them in order to make this thing work, because you don't want to be in a deal that's cost you money. And so know your numbers, and so it's always pretty important to keep your ear to the ground, basically always watching what things are renting for, and keeping an eye on those rents, because they are also increasing. So yes, prices are increasing, making it a lot harder to find deals that make sense, but you also got to look at, you're not using a year ago's rents numbers, you're using today's rents numbers. And so just to keep that in mind. This is something I'm not even looking at my notes right now. This is something that's on my mind, of thinking about what does inflation mean here? Are we going to see crazy inflation? Where is it better to have a month-to-month lease where eventually you can raise the rent with inflation if it would ever start to get a little crazy? Or is it better to lock that in for the year lease? Normally we always did a year lease. We love those year leases, and then we'll up it every year, 2%. For another year lease, or 4% if they're wanting to stay a month-to-month lease, because the idea there is to basically have that locked in, and where we have a guaranteed rent for that year. But now, again, going back to my notes, what is important as far as the rent numbers and just seeing that increase? So just understand that and keep that in mind, in the back of your mind, as we start to see inflation a little bit heavier here, and where the market ends up turning here. But I do see this continuing to rise and not really fall down anytime soon. The one variable here is the US dollar. Who knows where that is right now, and we've never been in this type of situation, so it'll be kind of interesting to see where the Fed and everybody takes us at that point. So since prices are increasing, for example, that 324, what was listed at 324 ended up selling for 355. We had another one where it was an offer, the asking price was 230. We put an offer in of 251. The winning bid was 275. So things are really going really high. So if you're working with an agent, make sure you're working with us. Or if you're working with an agent, that you do a price escalation clause. Absolutely do that. Put yourself in the best option here to make sure that you're getting the best deal. And you're do a price escalation clause. It basically states, hey, let's say for the example here, 324, we're willing to offer the seller 324 for this property, but we're willing to go over $2,500 higher than the next highest offer, up to 360. So in that case, if we would have wrote that offer up, they would have got that property for $357,500. It was $2,500 higher than the next highest offer, up to a max of $260. And so what that does is gives you a good base and a good option to get the property and lock that property up, but also not going to the highest and best offer, because you can go highest and best offer and you could be 20,000 higher than the next highest offer. This gives you an opportunity to protect yourself as a buyer, but also to get the property as well locked up in your name. So huge opportunity. So absolutely use the price escalation clause. Now some agents will shoot that down and say, no, we want the highest and best, no price escalation clause. So you will have to educate some agents on what that form is and what that looks like. And that should be the job of your real estate agent. So make sure that they're disclosing that, and so that the seller and or seller's agent understands what that price escalation clause means and how that works. So that's how one option you can get this thing locked up. Option number 2 or 3, I guess you could say, within your offer itself is going to be no inspections. We've seen a ton of investing or offers that just do not have any inspections. Out of example, the 7 offers we had on this other property, that 324 property, we've had 7 offers. 7 offers had no inspections. So that is one of the first things we're kind of seeing in general, a lot of inspections being waived. So you got to understand and be comfortable, if you're a buyer, knowing that you're buying the property sight unseen, maybe even if I'm doing a video for you, or your bird dog's doing a video for you, but understand that you're potentially getting that property with no inspection. So just do your due diligence ahead of time and make sure you're comfortable, because you do have to move quickly in a lot of these cases as well. So hopefully the bird dog and or us doing a video for you gets you in the door right away, where you feel comfortable moving forward with an offer and with no inspections, because that's kind of a big deal, especially in this market right now, because we've seen higher offers get thrown out because they've had inspections. So understand that and how that dynamic is being played. But if you can and feel comfortable with, highly recommend that you do not put an inspection or you waive the inspection clauses. Another one is kind of a unique way around this is a cash offer. So obviously cash offers are trump. Anybody that doesn't have to get a mortgage, anybody that doesn't have to get an appraisal done, a seller is going to really love. So with that being said, what if you need a mortgage? Well, you technically still could do a cash offer. And what I mean by that is you're just waiving the cash or the mortgage side of things. Now, this does put you in a peculiar situation, because what happens if the appraisal comes back at, for example, let's just say 355, and the appraisal comes back at 350. Well, unfortunately, because you waived the mortgage, you are basically saying you're buying it at 355 no matter what, so you're going to have to come up with that extra $5,000. However, if it does appraise for that value, there's really nothing to worry about. The problem can run into is if your mortgage lender doesn't do their job and do it quickly enough. And so there is a risk there that you could lose your down monies if you weren't able to have the mortgage company be able to close on time, or that appraisal comes in where you can't afford it anymore. So there is a big risk, but we have seen you can do a cash offer. Basically, you're waiving the mortgage contingency, but you're still getting a mortgage, basically stating you're buying this thing no matter what. And so there's that opportunity too. So again, just understand the downside with that as well, that you could potentially lose your security deposit if you couldn't close or you didn't want to. You couldn't get that security deposit money back. So that's a big thing. So it's an interesting market right now. So if you're going against offers and other offers, price escalation clause, number 1. Number 2, waive those inspections. And number 3, potentially even do a cash offer, even if you're doing a mortgage, but to understand the risk with that. And that can be a pretty big danger there if you don't understand that. So just understand those rules, and that'll definitely set you up to potentially get that property and be able to win the bid. Now, the beautiful thing is you can run your numbers with the price escalation clause. You can see what your max is. So you could offer, our offer's $10,000, but we're willing to go, so many dollars over the next highest bid up to a certain point. So you could really get that property at a good price if there isn't a ton of competing offers. But right now, everything's competing right now, it feels like. And so we're just trying to set you up as an investor to purchase the property with the right numbers. So you can really know your numbers prior to even going into it, and gives you a huge opportunity, a huge advantage against the other offers when you're able to do all those things. So if you need help with that, always talk to a good investor / colleague that'll be able to help you understand the market. So get a mentor, get a teacher, get somebody that'll help you with investing. If you want an agent that's investor friendly, we are that, and we would love to help you. So support your comments below. Love to hear what you guys have to say. Also love to hear, hitting that like button, thumbs up, gives us good promotion as well. So appreciate you watching. Keep on investing.